Hello everyone, good morning and welcome to our first official class, Intro to Animation, which is Animation 101. So basically we're going to start with a very simple question being what is animation? So animation is basically observation, that's what it is. Like animation is observation, because what I mean by animation is observation is that from animating or from observing the world, that's how we're able to create the motion in the 3D viewport, that's in this scene. So basically, let's start with what animation is. So animation started back like a long time ago, right? Since there was art, there was animation. So like if you went back to cave paintings, you will see in some cave paintings, like they drew, like, them, then, and like basically they told the story with the figures that they drew in caves, right? Then we ended up with like shadow play, in which, like people use like their fingers and their shadow, like light and dark, to tell stories. Then it progressed to like stop motion, sorry, then it progressed to like stick figures, flip book. So basically animation started out in 2D is what I'm saying. So 2D is second dimension or two-dimensional image. That means flat image, right? Flat images, right? So I'm going to open up a file and show you an example of what I mean, right? So you've heard me speak about the bouncing ball, right? So I'm going to show you an example using the bouncing ball. So this is a bouncing ball, right? So basically you can see that the motion, or basically you can understand what you're seeing based on the amount of pictures that you're seeing, or the amount of balls that you're seeing in the scene, right? So there's a ball here, there's a ball here, there's a ball here, then there's a ball here. It's coming down, it squashes on the ground, goes up. Basically when you look at this, you understand what the ball is doing. So the only reason you understand what the ball is doing is because of you're seeing the ball travel through space incrementally. That's is going from 1 up to 34, and your brain can just imagine, okay, this is what the ball would do if you could see it in real time. So this is basically animation. But what makes animation move is that I would play this picture from 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 all the way to 32 at a constant speed, that when you see just this ball, you then see just this ball, then you see just this ball, then you see just this ball, and that's how the story is being told visually to your eyes, because you see at 24 frames per second. As I explained, 24 frames per second is a second. So basically we see at that rate of speed. So if I play this at 24 frames per second, but I'm only showing one ball, then in the next frame I'm showing the second ball, in the third frame I'm showing the third ball, in the fourth frame I'm showing the fourth ball. By the time I play it, your eyes will let you know that, okay, this ball is actually bouncing. You understand? So basically that's what animation does. You're basically just moving your character through space to make a motion or to make a movement, and then that's where timing and spacing comes in to like determine, okay, is this a heavy ball, is this a fast ball, is this a slow ball, is this a balloon? Do you understand? So all of those things work together to tell the viewer of your animation what is happening in your animation. So basically that is all that has to do with animation. Then let me just give you some tips on how to get good animation. So basically, we already know animation is observation. We also know planning is key. So before you do anything animation wise, that's before we get into this, I just want to lay down some foundations, right? So before we get into actually animating, you should put some things at the back of your mind. That's planning. So this is a plan. That's you want to do a bouncing ball, and you want the ball to be like, let's say a table tennis ball, right? So the ball falls, squashes, goes up, comes down, like basically. But if this was a bowling ball now, the ball would drop. It wouldn't go as high because the bowling ball is heavy. So it would just go maybe here, come down, then go up again a bit, then it doesn't bounce anymore. But if it was a basketball now and you threw it with much force, it could go like this, like this, like this before it stops. If it is like, let's say, a balloon, it will do 1 2 3, this would be up here, this will be up here. Like before it gets here, because it's a balloon, it will be so slow, because the amount of gravity affecting a balloon is not the same amount of gravity affecting a bowling ball, or or like affecting a golf ball. Do you understand? So all of those things matter in animation. So it's why planning is an essential part of animation, because you need to first know what you want to animate before you start animating. That you just don't want to just enter it and just be animating based on vibes. No, you need to plan out your animation before you even start animating. So planning is key. Then something else that you need to remember is you need to remember the basics. So if you are in this class, then I've sent you the 12 principles of animation, which is something that we will go over in this class. So the 12 principles of animation are like the basic guidelines that you need to be able to convey life to your animation. So as I said, the 12 principles of animation are the key principles that you need to follow to breathe life into your character. Because basically, the goal of animation is not just that you moved the character, it is that your viewer gets lost looking at what you're animating. That's basically like when I go to a movie cinema and I'm watching an animated movie, I want to be able to feel what the character is feeling. I want to be able to connect to what the character is doing. Do you understand? So if a character is sad, you want to be able to feel that sadness. I've seen situations in which I watch an animated movie and I even forgot that it's an animated movie. And mind you, I also do animation. So for me to get so lost in the character, that means the person that animated whatever I was watching did an amazing job. Do you understand? So that is basically the goal of animation. The goal of animation is not just to move things. The goal of animation is to make the viewer get lost and forget that what they are watching is a character that somebody made. Like your character should feel real to the people seeing it. Your character should be real as people are watching it. It is why, for example, like there are some characters that that they like stick with you. Like they can be animated, but because of how they were animated, you totally relate to those characters. So example, I'll give you like Naruto, Goku. Do you understand? Like these are characters that you know them instinctively, because of you felt what they felt like when they were sad. You knew they were sad when they were about to be defeated. You felt like, oh god, like this is the end. Do you understand? So that's the goal of animation, to convey life into whatever you are making. So that's why we focus on the basics. So the basics of animation, that's the 12 principles of animation, is the first one is called squash and stretch, right? So squash and stretch means that when an object is moving fast, visually to our eyes, it looks like the object stretches. So I have a video on this, but it's not here right now, but I'll add it to the file. It's a video of a man throwing a ball, and you see how the ball stretches and then compresses when it hits the floor. Do you understand? So those things let you know that there is a force acting upon that object as it's moving through space. So this, for example, now, right? This, like, let me highlight this so you can draw on it. So this now for okay. So this now for example, right? This ball is like, from here it's a normal ball. From here it is starting to stretch a bit. From here it is stretched out, right? Then here it is squashed. It is squashed because of the ball does not know that there's a floor here. Do you understand? But because of it hits the floor unexpectedly, that energy it used to come from here has to go somewhere. So it squashes in on itself and then releases that energy here to go up again. So even as it's going up against gravity, it has to stretch up, then retain its shape again around here, retain its shape around here, retain its shape around here. Then when it's coming back down, it stretches out, because the thing is, if you should get up from your seat and jump, you will see that you need a lot more energy to leave the ground than you need to come back to the ground. So do it. stand up, jump up, and see that to jump up, like if you want to jump really high, you need to squash down and lift your body up into the sky and then fall back. You understand? So that is what the ball is doing. The ball is basically gathering momentum, gathering like the energy it needs to go up, to fight gravity and go up. And then when it's coming down because gravity is acting upon it. So basically, like animation too is partly physics because you need to understand these things to be able to convey life. Because basically, if the ball just went up without anticipating the jump, it wouldn't feel real. It just be like, ah, like what happened? It just went up. But so basically, you need to. It is the same way. Like if you wanted to run really fast, you would wind up as you would like wind up before you go fast. It's same thing with like with like shooting a catapult or like shooting a gun. The gun will recoil because of the amount of force and gunpowder it needed to shoot that bullet forward. So that's all about squash and stretch. Let's go to anticipation. So anticipation is basically crucial when trying to sell an action, which is what I said here. The ball has to squash to anticipate, like the squash is the anticipation to the upward movement. Do you understand? So it needs to go down before it goes up. It's the same thing that I said. If you wanted to jump, you first need to bend your knees, go down a bit, and jump. Like you cannot just stand and jump. You understand? Like I'm not sure you can't, but if you can do it, good for you. But I'm not sure it works that way. So second principle of animation is anticipation, which is you need to tell your viewer, okay, this is about to happen before it happens. There's also staging. So staging is the way you present your idea either through animation or clarity. So that's, let's say, like camera like angles, or if you wanted to show something, right? Like if you wanted to show an action, you need to put your camera in a way that people don't see something else, like they see what you want to show them. You understand? So I'm going to find an example here that I should be able to show you. Okay, let me see. Sorry, hold on. Okay, so basically, let me show you this. So this is an animation that I did in which a character is getting up. So basically, if I put the camera somewhere else, we wouldn't know that the character is getting up. But because I wanted to show that the character is getting up from the side view, and I wanted to show the whole movement of the action, which is what we're seeing here. Do you understand? So staging is important when showing an action, or basically like if you are animating a backflip, they need to see the backflip happen. Do you understand? If you are animating someone running, they need to see, okay, the person is running. Do you understand? So staging is the way you present your idea, either through animation or camera, because that's how it works in animation. So then we have number 4, straight ahead and pose to pose. So what this means is, let let me give you an example here. So basically, straight ahead means, if let's say I wanted to animate this this box, right, from here to here, right, but then I want the box to like be to do some moves. This would be straight ahead. As I'm just doing it. I'm not really like I've planned it, like I've not really planned it out. I'm just doing it. You understand? Or maybe I've planned it out, but I want it to feel organic. So I just don't know. Basically just moving it however it should move. And but basically the advantages to this and disadvantages to this. So this, you get a more like creative work process, but the only difference is that you can't plan this. That is, like, let's say you wanted to do someone yawning, jumping, and then lying down. Like you can get lost doing it this way. So see it now, like it just goes, you get like it's bouncing good, but like it's not. This is what you call straight ahead. As you animate as you go, right? But then there's also now pose to pose. Pose to pose is let me explain that. So pose to pose is, let's say I put the cube here. The aim of the cube is to go here. Then I put that cube there. I go to 20. I put GX. I put the cube here, right? Then let's say around 5, I want the cube to go up. So I do this here. Then around 10, I want the cube to go back down. I put this here. Around 15, I want it to go up, right? Then I put that there. So basically now if I play it, it's the same thing, but it's just that this looks more smoother than what I showed you previously. So this is called pose to pose. That is, you know what you want to do, but you're just planning it out better. That's you're going from pose to pose. That's you're putting your central ideas down, then you're layering on it, and you get this kind of animation, as opposed to straight ahead that you just go like you go with the flow. Do you understand? So we have number 5. Number 5 is overlap. Overlap goes that how should I explain overlap? So overlap goes that body parts don't move all at the same time. Objects made out of different parts don't move all at the same time. So let's say like now you wanted to punch someone, right? If you wanted to punch someone, you take your stance, you swing your hand back, your hips will slightly rotate, your chest will also rotate, but your hips go first before your hands now follow through. You understand? So that's overlap. Or let's say if you have dreads or you have hair and you get up, right, and you jumped. When you jump up, your hair is down. When you land, your hair is up. Do you understand? Like, or let's say if you wore a gown and you started spinning, or you wear a skirt and you started spinning, or you wear a jacket and you're walking through a windy road. Your jacket is flapping behind you, but you're moving in front of it. Do you understand? So that's like basically when the breeze goes off, your body is there, but your jacket will still take some time before your jacket like settles. Do you understand? So that's overlap basically. But I'm going to show you a visual example of overlap in case my explanation was not helpful. But basically overlap just means that everything does not move at the same time. So things move one at a time. So if you wanted to do something, think of what is driving the motion. That's if you wanted to run, like your legs move first, then your body follows, but your hip directs that movement. So you're moving with your hip, then your leg like catches you before you fall, before your other leg raises up, then goes in front of your other leg to keep you in motion. Just like walking as well. You walk, you're falling forward, then your leg catches you and your walk continues. So if you can just observe it, get up, try and walk, but before you catch yourself, notice that you're about to fall. It's then your leg that keeps you up. So there's also slow in and slow out. I think I explained slow in and slow out in the first video. That's ease in and ease out. That's when let's say ease in, slow in, you go from fast to slow, then slow out, you go from slow to fast. So I explained that in the first video already. So arcs is the 7 principles of animation. Arc means that all movement is in an arc. That's everything you do moves in an arc. If you raise up your hand and you draw an imaginary line, it follows an arc. If you like everything you do, your body parts, like even the way you walk, even the way you turn your head, like everything follows an arc. You should actually observe that. Like get up and I just swing your hands like anyhow. You would observe that your hand follows an arc, your leg follows an arc, your nose like everything on the human body follows an arc. The only thing that doesn't follow an arc is robotic movements, and the only time you put it straight in animation is when you want to show power to that movement. So let's say something is moving fast, phew, it goes straight. Or let's say you're punching someone, it goes straight. You get like straight. That's the only time you use it straight. But an arc basically is what moves everything. So number 8, that's secondary action. Secondary action for me, it deals more with acting, right? So secondary action for me deals more with acting. That's it adds to the character, but it's an action that doesn't take away from the character. So let me explain this. Let's say I was talking and I wanted to just yawn. Like the yawn doesn't take from the character. But if I've already portrayed the character as a laid back, lazy, like chilled person, then a yawn fits into his characteristics because he's not an energetic person, he's a laid back person. Or let's say I wanted to lift up something heavy, and instead of just lifting it up, I roll up my sleeves, I raise up my trouser before I bend. Like all of those things add character to your to the thing that you're animating, but it doesn't take away from the animation. You understand? Like it doesn't like distract people. Oh, like let's say like what's going on. But if let's say I wanted to lift up something and I start tying my shoelace, now that's an action that doesn't add to what's happening. But if I like raised up my sleeves, raised up my trousers to like prepare for lifting up something that is heavy, now all of those actions align with, okay, he's preparing to lift up something heavy. So secondary action too can work as anticipation for the next action. So keep that in mind. So number 9 is timing. Timing is the number of drawings or how to spread them out in your animation. So let's go back to this. So basically the timing of this bouncing ball is the time the ball hits the floor. So this is the timing here, 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 here. Then this is the spacing. That's 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. So basically now the spacing determines how big, how soft, how fast. Like the spacing determines the characteristics of the ball, while the timing explains the rhythm of the ball. So you see it goes, let me give you some soundtrack. Boing 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 boing. You get? If it was a bowling ball, just be do do do. If it was a balloon, it would be ooh, boom. Do you understand? Like the spacing will be so much different than when it's a golf ball. That just goes boing 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 boing. You understand? So this is the spacing. That's where the ball is in time. Sorry, where the ball is in space, and the sequence the ball is falling in. Then this is the timing. That's the rhythm of where the ball is hitting and how fast the ball is going, right? So number 10 is exaggeration. So exaggeration means you can exaggerate an action, a feeling, or anything. So let's say you wanted to hit a golf ball. In fact, wait, I have a perfect explanation of exaggeration right here. So hold on. Let me get the video. Just means exaggerating an action, right? Like you exaggerate an action to get a feeling. Okay, yeah. So this is this is this exaggeration, right? So you see that? Okay, so see this from here. So basically, Bugs Bunny is trying to throw a baseball, right? So you know how pitchers they throw a baseball, they wind up then throw it, right? But see the exaggeration to show the power of the ball. He winds up, goes back, throws the ball up, like adjusts his body because of the amount of force he wants to use to throw the ball, catches the ball, still goes back, and then you understand. So see this. Do you see that? So the power of what he did is being shown in this scene, that okay, he actually threw that ball with so much power that the ball knocked him out. You understand? But basically this is cartoon exaggeration, but this definitely shows what I'm trying to explain, that exaggeration can add to your animation always. Like exaggerate everything. So see it again before I move on to solid drawing. Winds up, goes back, raises it, catches it, then goes hard, and this is the result of all that wind up. So yeah, this is exaggeration in its purest form. So that was Bugs Bunny. If you want to watch it, but I watch a lot of those kind of shows, to know what to exaggerate and what not to exaggerate. So number 11 is solid drawing. Solid drawing is making sure your poses tell a story, right? So making sure your poses tell a story is the same thing as, let's say, if you wanted somebody to box, right? You need to pose him in a way that even before he does anything, people can see that, okay, this is what is going to happen. You understand? Or like, this is what is about to happen. So always make sure that whatever you do is solid, like it looks solid. So I'm going to open up a PNG and show you. So basically, this is a pose exercise. We will do like one of these in class. So this is a pose exercise in which you know what he's doing just from how he's posed. He's about to take a sniper shot, right? So you pose him in a way that from any angle it looks like that's what he's about to do. So even from the front angle, it looks like he's about to take a sniper shot. From the left angle, he looks like he's about to take a sniper shot too. So basically, this is what I mean by solid drawing. But because of we don't draw in 3D, it will be solid posing. So make sure your pose tells a story. So even if there's no light in the scene and it's just his silhouette that you're looking at, you would know that, okay, he's a sniper, he's somewhere. Like, this pose tells a story. You get my point? So yeah, so that's all about it in solid drawing. Then we also have appeal. Appeal is anything that feels nice, from action to character and movement. So what that means is, if you have a character, make it nice. If it's an action, make it nice. Like, make sure it's appealing to look at. Like, don't just post things like anyhow. Make sure that every pose you have, like, no matter how long it takes you to make a pose, stay on it and make sure that pose looks as nice as it can look. Because basically, the thing about animation is it stands the test of time. So there are times that you will look at cartoons from the 1980s, the 1960s. Like the clip I just showed you was Bugs Bunny from 1960, and that animation still looks good. Even it will still look good in 2039. It will still look good in 3054. Do you get my point? Like, when your posing has an appeal to it, your animation becomes timeless, right? So basically, this class has run for a while. I'm going to go into other things in another class, but I don't want to make the videos too much. But we have come to the end of the first class. So next class, we're going to actually do some actual animation. But I want you to revisit this video, listen to what I've said, like make sure you understand what I'm trying to tell you concerning animation and concerning, because of once you lock in these basics and these principles, then animating in itself will become an easier task. Like, I'm not saying it to be easy, like, oh, you won't need to spend time on it, but it will be more easier to know what you're doing, to plan your scenes, to observe the principles of animation at work, and to get better clarity in your poses. So I hope this class was amazing. I'll see you guys in the next class, and have a great day.